what I was saying when the other video cut out is if you bring out an instance of a symbol and then rotate it, whatever degree it's going, and if that symbol that you bring out had a directional animation to it, then it'll be affected by the rotate. So in other words, the animation that I had moved from here to here. If I rotate it 180 degrees, it's going to move from here to here. So let's see what that looks like, keeping in mind that I brought out a couple that are reversed. I played around with the start times here, and and then there's one that I accidentally chose from here, play reverse from. So that'll have an effect. You'll see one that's actually going backwards in there. So let's preview this and take a look at what's happening. So not bad. Adds a little what appears to be randomness to the animation. Now if you scroll through here, you get an idea that having a lot of instances of animation or animated symbols can quickly cloud up your workspace. So there is a technique that you can use with symbols where you just go ahead and select everything except for, in this case, the craft itself. So I lock that, and then if I get my mouse over the top of at least one of these and right click, I can say convert to symbol, and I could call that, for example, stars. Click on OK, and now look what happens. I just have what looks like I do have just one instance of stars on the stage. So that's kind of a little housekeeping trick. And if you want to animate it, you just go through the breadcrumb routine again. So in this case, rather than going into shooting star, you would go into stars, either by double clicking over here, but probably more intuitive in this case would be to double click here, which it might be a little difficult unless I zoom in. So I will zoom in. And now you see we're right back, so to speak, where we were. This is all the stuff that was on the main stage before. Now it's the individual instances of each star. So if, for example, I wanted to change the start time of this one, I could just double click right here, actually right on the play head. There's a little play button there, and it pops open, says what time do you want to start from. I could change that. Once I do that, just go back to the main stage, and that one little effect would be done. So let's look at something even crazier, and that would be bringing out an instance of a symbol that has quite a bit done to it. How about the spaceship itself with all of this crazy motion that was created right here? Because remember, right now the spaceship is just the ship and the light blinks on it, right? That's what this symbol is. But if I select the instance that's on the stage now, let me just move that to make sure that's what I have. No, it's not. Let me start doing some locks here to make that a little bit easier. Try that. Now, there we go. So there's the spaceship, all its crazy motion. And if I right click and convert to a symbol, and let's just call this space S in motion. Now you can see that the playback routine of it disappears here because now it's all contained inside of here. So let me just preview that so you can see everything still looks the same on the stage, and everything is the same except for the fact that the spaceship in motion is now what's out here, and all of its internals is hidden, if you follow the breadcrumbs here, in another timeline. So that means out on the main timeline, I could bring an instance of this other ship in. So if I grab spaceship in motion, bring out another one, and preview the video, we now have the two ships that move in motion. As we learned, all I'd have to do is come in here and change play from, give that a slightly different time. I can also go ahead and grab the transform tool, hold down the shift key, scale this back. Oh, and actually I turned it upside down with the scale tool as well. But you get an idea of all the crazy little things you can do. That last one might be a little bit too crazy, so let me, always pays to zoom in with this program when you're making changes. Okay, so I flipped the spaceship upright again, made it smaller, put it up in the corner. Looks kind of like this now, goes in and off stage. So you got to remember when you shrink it, everything gets smaller, including the path that it follows. But we could also animate that particular instance on the stage as well as it being animated 2 symbol levels deep. So here it is. Let's go ahead and make that not only so that it gets a little bit bigger, but let's also move its placement a little bit over to the right as it goes. So I'm going to use this toggle pin, and what I'm going to do is I want it to get bigger. So I'm going to move the yellow because it's something that I need to change into the future. So we'll go to the scale, either by using the tool here, or we can just go ahead and dial it in using the width and height. We'll lock those together and then drag this out. We'll actually make it become bigger than the other one. In fact, then in that case I won't move it left to right. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like now. So it should start out smaller. Now it looks like it's coming in. And now we said that the default nature for one of these animated symbols is for it to play, and that's because we checked that box when we initially made it for it to start. But what if we don't want that to happen? Even if we did check that box, we can still prevent it from playing. So watch this. Let's bring out an instance of the spaceship in motion again. So we have yet another one. And if we preview that, we can see that it indeed does start. So to prevent it from playing, once again, we just use the little playback option here, and we'll select stop. So that means that by nature, when the video plays, that symbol is there, but it is stopped. Okay, so what I want to do is create some text in here that I'm going to use as a button to make this go. And so we'll call it go, and you can see there it is right here. In fact, let's just rename that as go. And here's how you make anything work like a button in this program. You just go right here. Now look, I'm up in Elements panel. I see the word, or the layer that I just created. I'm going to click in here. And now I have to say what it is that I want to happen to that item to make the action work. So in this case, I'll select click. Then what I want to happen is it's a playback item. I want it to play, and something on the stage, and there's spacecraft in motion 3, which is that third craft that we make. So I'll click on that. I'll hit return to actually put the code in there. And let's go and see if this works. So there it is, just sitting there. We'll put the mouse over here, click, and it works. You can see that it's not a very good button because there's no interactivity, and we'll talk more about that in the future. But one thing we can do for now is, with it selected, go over to cursor where it says auto, click on auto, and select the finger. And when we preview this now and we put the mouse over it, it gives us the finger. So that's a little bit better interactivity, but we'll be able to make it so that this will change colors and different things like that to give us a little bit more interactivity in the future. And you can see that the nature of that is that it comes to a stop at the end, just like the other ones did. But since there's a button here, we can override that and make it play again.